We're whining. We're doing wine.
Welcome to Winemaking with Rowan, Alex, and Nico. In this video, Rowan, Alex, and Nico demonstrate the process of creating wine with an authentic Italian recipe to help facilitate the illustrious Italian culture and its importance in the United States. Over 16 million people claim to have Italian heritage in one way or another, one of the most substantial cultures in the United States, according to the United States Census Bureau. This number makes up over 5% of the entire U.S. population.
Many people of Italian descent deeply believe in their cultures and hold their values close to them. In our interview, we learned what aspects of Italian culture Westerly local Joe Silico values the most and the importance of keeping the Italian culture alive.
What three aspects of Italian heritage have the most value to you and why?
So growing up in an Italian household, the most important things growing up were family, traditions, and food. Bringing everyone together. Family, support of the family. Coming from a large family, you had help from all aspects of the family life. Traditions, a lot of tradition. Italian culture is built on tradition, and of course the food.
So maybe as a follow-up, what specific food would you consider to be your favorite?
My favorite food? So my favorite food growing up was my mother's eggplant parmesan. I've never ordered it at a restaurant because I know it won't compare, and that's like my favorite thing. And it's she didn't make it all the time, only when the eggplant was ready from the garden. It wasn't eggplant bought from a store, it was grown from the garden, and that was the most favorite Italian food.
Why do you think preserving Italian heritage and culture is an important thing to happen in the United States?
The United States is what they call the melting pot, right? So it's all different cultures coming together. Keeping tradition alive is important. I have two boys. We try to do as much as we can with tradition. Growing up, we had birthday parties that had 50 people there, and it was just huge. So we tried to do that with them. Getting together with my mother, making cookies, making pasta, making pizza. Just those little things where it just, again, brings the family together.
Yeah, that's awesome. Our next question applies more to the process of making wine. What do you think the most important aspect to consider would be when you're creating an authentic Italian wine?
Wine, you have to have good quality grape. You have to have the proper equipment, and actually where it's kept. It needs to be, and we always had a cold cellar, which was either completely underground or 3/4 of it underground, so that it was always cold, so the consistency of temperature. And when it's made, it needs to be clear. It has to have the right enough sugar in the grape, so that because the sugar will ferment into alcohol. So it's got to be the proper grape, good quality.
With our newfound knowledge of winemaking from Joe Silico, we started the winemaking process. The recipe used for this wine, supplied by Vincenzo's Plate, an authentic Italian cooking site, calls for us to thoroughly wash and crush the grapes. After crushing the grapes, we add important ingredients such as yeast and honey. The yeast supplies the ability to make the alcohol through fermentation, while the honey adds sweetness. Please enjoy this montage of us crushing grapes while Alex explains the Order Sons and Daughters of Italy in America, the activist organization for this project.
The creation of this wine will help spread awareness for the Order Sons and Daughters of Italy in America, the largest Italian-run organization for Italian Americans in the United States. OSDIA has over 600,000 active members representing the nearly 17 million Italian Americans in the United States. The Order Sons and Daughters of Italy in America has completed many goals in its 119-year history. According to their website, OSDIA advocates for studying Italian language and culture in American schools and universities, preserving Italian-American traditions, culture, history, and heritage, and promoting closer cultural relations between the United States and Italy. OSDIA has helped Italian Americans since 1905 AD in a multitude of ways. This help has evolved, such as assisting Italian immigrants earn American citizenship in the early years and building housing for senior citizens and orphanages today. OSDIA has a division called the Commission for Social Justice, which fights racism and prevents stereotyping of all races, religions, and cultures, especially Italians and Italian Americans.
The mixture sat in this bowl for the next few days. After that, we moved it into an airtight bucket in which it would ferment for the next month. This new holding container featured a fermentation airlock, which allowed any air to escape, yet prevents any air from entering this container.
I got that on video, so it happened. Yeah. With the wine sitting in its new home, we waited. After the wine sat for a month, we used a hose to siphon the wine from the bucket into a bowl before transferring it into a wine bottle. This process requires the hose to have water within it. Then one person holds one end of the hose in the bucket while the other person plugs the water from leaving. Nico held the hose in the bucket while Rowan held the bottom end with the water. Nico then released the top, which held the water in the hose, and then Rowan released the bottom, allowing the wine to flow into the bucket. After that, we poured the wine from the bowl into the bottles, creating 2 full bottles of wine. Finally, we corked the wine bottles. Thank you for watching us experience this valuable Italian tradition for the first time. We learned a considerable amount from this project. Special thanks to Rowan's dad, who helped us through our journey, and special thanks to Joe Selico, who graciously allowed us to interview him.